Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe. Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap. You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Look, there has to be another way!
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe. You're not gonna take this away from me.
Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone. What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them. December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday, oh jeepers. Hello everyone and welcome to the Marvel Canon Madness podcast. My name is Josh. I am your temporary host tonight, and mainly because I just wanted to host something because I haven't podcasted in a bit. I am so excited to be doing this tonight, especially with all the news that's come out. We just watched the Spider-Man trailer. For me, it was probably like the 25th time I've seen it. So we're very familiar with it, and we're extremely excited to talk about it tonight. Excuse me. If you'd like, you can follow us on Facebook at Marvel Canon Madness or on Twitter at MCM_pod. Once again, my name's Josh, your host tonight. You can follow me on Twitter at TwistMyArmcast. Now, let's bring in my buddies from an hour in the future. We got Mr. Roy, the Intrepid DM. How are you today, my friend?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain. It's been looking up and up since this trailer dropped.
Right? It's looking somewhere, that's for sure. We got to hurry up and get this through. Next, we got Chip. Hello, Chip.
Oh, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Good, man. How have you been?
Can't complain. Well, I can complain. Work has been crazy busy ramping up for the holiday season, but
yeah,
you know, it is what it is there. So yeah,
I get that. I think we could all probably complain about something that's happened over the last couple of months, but we won't get into that. We're gonna get into the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. So first of all, holy shit.
Right?
That was a trailer.
That's yeah. And the fact that
hang on, I'm sorry. Before we go any farther, hello Jesse. Thank you for joining us in the chat. And to anyone else that's in the chat, hello. Thank you for joining us. We are live for this recording here. But if you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes or any of those other places, Thank you. Sorry, Roy. Go for it.
No, you're fine. I was gonna.
You're-
The trailer is it's way bigger than I imagined the trailer was gonna be. They gave way more. I thought they were gonna keep us in the dark for a lot longer, and the fact that the movie
in the dark with what? What are you referencing here?
Well, we now know that five count them, 5 members of the Sinister Six are in the trailer. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was, and I think there's even more than that. I don't think that we're getting the Sinister Six. I think we're getting just a whole battle with the scene at the very end of that trailer.
Well, you did see the Hobgoblin too, right?
It wasn't the Hobgoblin, or was that
totally.
William Dafoe in updated Stark tech?
I mean, I doubt it, but like I'm pretty sure
because
that was the Hobgoblin.
With
Chip,
all the
what say you? Do you think was that the Hobgoblin?
I don't know. If it was the Hobgoblin, it was Ned Leeds, because Ned Leeds is the Hobgoblin.
Mm-hmm.
So we would be seeing like,
right.
So I don't know. I mean, they could do it. They could throw him in some armor and have him playing a variant of himself.
And there's also the chance that we're getting Dane DeHaan back as Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2, the second one. Yeah, he was in the second one of Andrew Garfield's series. But at the same time, I doubt
I'm cutting out here a little bit.
Maybe skipping, but I feel like they're not going to bring James Franco back. With all of his situations going on right now and accusations against him, I don't think Disney would put any stock in putting him on the big screen.
Nah, I haven't heard anything about him being back. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
No,
so
I don't think he is. I think it's Ned. I'm pretty sure it's Ned, but I'm pretty sure it's Ned from a different universe, from like in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Like his twin or something. You know what I mean?
It's a variant.
I think that it's going to be William Dafoe. I do think it's going to just be upgraded Stark tech with William Dafoe. I think he is going to play a bigger role as the villain than anyone else in this movie.
Well, I mean, look, let me just do this here really quick, because there is can I do that? Is that how that works? No. If I do this and share this, you can kind of zoom in on this guy here. That does not look like Willem Dafoe. No way. There's no way. I don't know how to work this Google Lens thing either. I'm really bad at it. But I mean, looking at him, he looks younger. That's not Willem Dafoe. Get out of here.
He looks younger, but we're getting Alfred Molina, who is almost 70 and using de-aging technology.
Yeah, but I mean, just the way that guy's standing, and the hoverboard and the little things coming out of the hoverboard. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that's a Hobgoblin. Basically, the point of that question is, was the Hobgoblin ever a part of the Sinister Six?
I don't believe he ever was. I mean, he might have been in a off-branch de facto set, but I mean, we're not even getting Kraven the Hunter, and Kraven the Hunter is part of the Sinister Six. Rhino was part of the Sinister Six. It all depends that we know of.
Was Venom a part of the Sinister Six? Oh, I thought that was a baby. That's a cat. Nice. I was like, when did Chip have a baby?
No.
I've been cooking it up for about 8 months.
So anyway, what about Venom?
I
What
don't
do you
believe
think? I
Venom
just
is
want to stay on the
ever.
Sinister Six topic.
I-
It seems to be the hot topic of this movie. Everyone seems to be assuming that it's going to be a Sinister Six version or the MCU
I
Sinister Six.
I don't
And
think that
I
he will.
who
No.
do you think is going to be the leader? Like that, because
Green Goblin.
Doc
The
Ock.
the leader would
No?
have to inevitably be Doc Ock or Green Goblin. Those are the two penultimate leaders of the Sinister Six when they have gotten together. They are the
Did you guys
mind
see the new
behind
Venom
everything.
movie?
No,
I did
You
not.
didn't see the new Venom movie?
no.
Did you
Nope.
see any of the reports of the after credit scenes?
I saw the after credit scenes.
The after credit scene, I heard it's like he sees the multiverse shifting or
Mhm.
something, right?
Yeah, but right before that, Venom the symbiote is talking about how they exist in different universes, and then bam, they're all of a sudden in a different universe. So, look, there's been a lot of talks about Mobius and Venom and Spider-Man and them having a Spider-Verse in
Mhm.
Sony. So why not use this movie as a stepping point to do that? See, and there's, yeah, Jesse asks, did Hardy jump to MCU and Venom 2? And I'm pretty sure he did, because obviously he sees Peter Parker. And like on the TV, Venom, spoiler alert, by the way, sorry, 5 minutes into it, spoiler. But Venom, sees Spider-Man on the TV and he's like, oh, that looks good. So why wouldn't it be him? And also, when Doctor Strange is saying, I've been thinking about this all day, guys. I'm just saying, all day. I've been thinking about it.
Mhm.
So when Doctor Strange says they're coming through, what's he talking about? You see in the skyline, there's all these like purple rips in space time or whatever you want to say. It could be dimensional rifts or something like that. What if it's a bunch of symbiotes coming over or something like that?
I was wrong. I'm gonna say real quick, I was wrong. Which I don't do this.
I'm sorry. I feel like you need some FaceTime.
So, all right, the original Sinister Six, yes. The original Sinister Six was Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Sandman, Vulture, Electro, and Doc Ock, right? So, eventually, there was the return of the Sinister Six, Amazing Spider-Man 334 through 339. Kraven left. Hobgoblin joined the Sinister Six. So it very well, Chip might have called it with Ned Leeds from a different dimension, possibly being Hobgoblin in this.
Well, I mean, if it's Hobgoblin, it's Ned Leeds. Like, that's who Hobgoblin is.
Yeah,
And they're
no, I know.
using Ned. So, I mean, hey.
And like Norman Osborn didn't even join the Sinister.
I feel like I'm freezing up here. Am I freezing?
You are skipping a little bit, yes.
Only slightly. This time was longer. Yeah. Anyway, Ned Leeds is Hobgoblin. So, like, if they're going to use him, they're probably going to use him. Use the same actor. But I don't know. I feel like Venom's gonna be in this movie. Tom Hardy kind of spoiled it by posting wearing a set hat. So I mean, I don't know, that surprise kind of got ruined. But I feel like that's gonna happen.
I feel like if Venom comes into the Spider-Verse, they will maintain him as a anti-hero in this portion, to kind of build on the differences between him and Spider-Man to lead into that eventual spin-off. I don't think they'd have him come in and be a villain right off the bat when they plan on, I mean, in the in the trailer, they called each of the people ghosts. They're ghosts. These are people who have already died fighting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see each of them probably die again. But at the same time, I think maybe that's why Peter is arguing with Doctor Strange, is because Peter has not actively killed anyone or let anyone die in any of the movies except for Mysterio. And as far as we know, Mysterio's not really dead. You know,
That's true.
that could be an entire ploy of his, and he could be the sixth member in this movie, for all we know.
That's true.
So we don't want to see Venom come in as a villain if they're going to kill off the villains. We would want him to be right there, possibly next to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And with how big they're making this break in the multiverse, maybe, and the way Tom Holland has been saying, I want to see Miles Morales, that could just be Tom trying to cover his ass if he accidentally let loose that maybe Miles Morales is in the movie and they've actually casted him.
I mean, I would like to see Miles, and they've been ramping him up a lot, like lately. Gave him his own game.
Mm-hmm.
They threw his uncle in, so like they had Childish Gambino playing his uncle in the first one.
The Prowler, yeah.
So I mean, it's not an unprecedented idea.
Jesse says, any chances we see Madam Web? With them going all multiverse, it is entirely a possibility. I believe she's like the Beyonder and the Watcher. I don't think she's a Celestial. And we're going to get into this when we talk about Eternals, because I have pretty much zero knowledge when it comes to the Eternals. So yeah, that's one of the situations that with Madam Web, I know she was in the original Fox cartoons, early Saturday morning stuff.
Yeah.
And she was part of the Secret Wars.
I could see like Meryl Streep or Helen Mirren playing her.
Yeah. Jesse, don't worry. We're not going to talk Eternals yet. We are still on the Spider-Man trailer. We also saw the fight between Doctor Strange and Peter pick up more, that they're at odds in the movie. And I think it's because Peter doesn't want to kill off the villains. I think he doesn't want to see their death, so he's trying to figure out a way to save them. And I think that's what's causing him and Strange to fight. And I'm still not sure, but I think it might be the Siege Perilous that they're fighting over.
It's possible.
So,
I mean, it'd be interesting if they I'd be surprised if they actually threw that in the movies. That's some pretty
well, it entirely deals with Doctor Strange, and we're heading into the multiverse of madness, which the Siege Perilous was it gave people the ability to travel between multiverses.
Yeah, they did have a big recent storyline where all the characters that have different versions of themselves hopped into it. So
yeah, and I think I think in other Spider-Verse areas, we are now getting the Gweniverse. I believe I saw the Spider-Gwen verse. So, there's that. They are definitely wanting to split out and go different directions, because it does open up a whole variety of new stories that they can tell. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many stories over the years, and a lot of them become stagnant. So to shake them up, it's what would happen if Miles Morales became Captain America? What would happen if Wolverine had a fourth claw? Oh, I feel like I saw that somewhere. Oh, yeah. There was a teaser about What If Season 2 with a new look at Wolverine.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
see that. The fourth claw. Get out of here. You talk about that red costume with the hoodie? That like newer, modern, updated character?
let
Because
me
that's
see.
not Wolverine himself. I actually think that's Honey Badger getting a new costume.
Okay, so I'm trying to bring this up real quick. And I will share my screen briefly. All right, so here it is. You think that's
Yeah.
Honey Badger,
Yeah, it's not Wolverine himself.
and it says March 2022 Marvel, and this could be completely fake, but the
No, I
photo
think it's
is
real. I don't think
photo
it's
is from Marvel Comics.
Mhm.
So there's our first look at mutants, maybe the first
that-
actual look.
You know, and that might be an issue of the What If comic and not talking about the What If series on Disney Plus. Because I mean, those are totally independent.
Yeah,
But I don't know. That like, can you zoom in on the claws? Are the claws coming from the fingers or from
the
like
knuckles.
the back? It is from the knuckles,
It
like
is
Wolvie.
from- yeah,
Okay, because I was having a hard time
because
seeing if it
right
was.
here, he has his hand.
Oh, that's a
clenched
fist.
in
Okay,
a
you're
fist.
okay. Cool.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they are playing into the multiverse because they are getting ready to change out actors as they age, right? It's only the smart thing to do. That we need new people to play new roles. And I know that Marvel recently said we are not recasting T'Challa.
Right.
But the way they phrased it is we are not recasting 616 T'Challa. They didn't say anything else about recasting a different multiversal version of him.
That's true. And there are a few, like, I don't know, there have been quite a few different, like, what if versions of Black Panther that aren't T'Challa. Like, there's a really cool version that's like Storm and T'Challa's daughter. And she's like a pretty cool character that they had in a few issues of something.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's like infinite possibilities when you're playing with infinite realities.
Like a prism with multifacets.
Hmm.
Good call,
Maybe.
Watcher.
He's onto something.
So we definitely got a great look at Electro and his very comic book accurate costume.
Okay, I think I'm back. Holy shit. Sorry about that. I was having some internet issues. I'm sure you could tell I was coming in and out, but I'm back. I got an Ethernet hooked up. I think we're good. My hair's a mess now because I was just under my desk, like frantically trying to figure this out. But we
Well,
good.
being under desks is nothing new for you.
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Dang!
Man. And we'll see you next week.
Holy cow, that was brutal. Wow. So anyway, I'm assuming I've missed a lot.
We dipped into the multiverse and talking
cool.
about pretty much all the different branches that could happen. And Jesse has a point here.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you.
Yes, you look and sound even better now.
Great.
But we were looking at this.
Okay. Oh wow, that's like a Deadpool Wolverine or something. What is that?
And Chip thinks it is Honey Badger, but it is a photo by Marvel Comics.
Huh.
He
Okay.
thinks, and it's March 2022, so we don't know if it's season 2 of What If the show or What If Comics. But we were talking about how the multiverse is a good starting point for the MCU to be able to bring new actors in to portray older roles. A new Steve
Okay.
Rogers, a
That might
new
be-
Sure.
T'Challa.
Sure.
And we were kind of discussing the fact that Disney and Marvel recently said that they will not recast Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa from the 616. What they didn't say is that, well, we're doing the multiverse. There's a different T'Challa.
Yep, and that would make a lot of sense. I mean, and they're setting it up with the Spider-Man thing with Peter and Doc Ock when he's like, "You're not Peter Parker."
Exactly, and
So-
there was also that subtle hint from Strange where he's like, "You flubbed up the spell," and I think that's Strange's own personal pride of, it's not my fault.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm just like, you're the one casting, bro. But all right.
Yeah. Have we gotten to the Mephisto watch yet? Have we decided that all of this is just Mephisto? Because that's what it is, right?
Wrong M name. I'm pretty sure it's actually all just an illusion created by Mysterio.
There it is.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. So with Electro here, are you saying he's from a different multiverse? Because I could see him, like, since he's yellow in this one, he could be from a different Spider-Man universe.
He could, but this is where I was kind of bringing up the point of William Dafoe still being the Goblin, but with Stark Tech. This is a different outfit, and this could have been Goblin's doing of retrofitting him with some Stark Tech to control his powers better, and this is why we're getting a more comic accurate costume as well. He's wearing green, a green jumpsuit, though it's not like tight spandex. Right. And he has the yellow star of electricity for a face mask.
Yeah, that is like really comic accurate. They did a great job of making it like a real life comic accurate costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely going Super Saiyan in this.
Get wrecked by spider orphans. That's great. I love that. I mean, how long do we think they've been here? Okay, look. First thing, I do want to say that I don't think that we're seeing a lot from the trailer. This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So I could even see it to where these scenes that we're watching, even this big battle, like I've watched some videos online where they're like, this is the end battle. I don't think that's the end battle. I think that's probably maybe even act 1, tops act 2, end of act 2. There's no way that they're showing anything from the final battle in these trailers. No. There's no way, because there has to be another villain there. If we're going Sinister Six route, there has to be somebody else. And if you guys are right, and then the guy that I think is Hobgoblin is actually Willem Dafoe, then who is the other guy? I really don't want it to be Vulture. I really don't, because I just don't care. Although that would be the most realistic. You guys are all talking about Stark Tech and stuff. Like if Doc Ock and Green Goblin get there, a week or two before all this battle stuff happens, even a month or something like that, then they're maybe breaking out Vulture from prison to get the Stark Tech to steal whatever.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too about that is
I hate that. Ugh.
What?
I just wouldn't want Vulture. I just don't want Vulture to be like the guy.
with them coming out, I think we already saw part of the Stark tech with Doc Ock and the red on his arms, how the nanomites like started to merge. And I think part of that happened due to the intelligence from his arms, the AI, and him probably tearing parts off of the Iron Spider suit.
Sure.
On that bridge.
And like it kind of, I don't know, sucking it in and taking hold of the nanotech.
Yeah. And, that could be part of the reason why Alfred Molina gets part of his mind back, because the arms are what's driving him nuts. The cerebral chip in the back of his head exploding.
Right. And here's the other thing is like, when is he getting taken out of Spider-Man 2? Like, at what point?
During the drowning scene is what they have said in multiple things, but
oh god, but you can't trust those people.
I know.
What do you think, Roy? Where do you think he's coming out? Do you think it's from when he's drowning or whatever?
I think he's being pulled when he has Peter pinned up, or Peter pulls off the mask to give him recognition, because it definitely has to be after Peter has revealed who he is, which means they are at the river. I don't think it's while he's drowning. I think it's probably at the realization
he's probably falling into that black hole, and that's what's sucking him into the multiverse.
Exactly.
That would make sense. And Jesse says Molina confirmed he comes here after he falls into the river in Spider-Man 2. So he's essentially just a good guy again. Yeah, he may be a good guy until this Peter Parker and MJ laugh at him about his name. Then he's like, wait, screw you kids.
Well, see here, this is what I was talking about, trying to say earlier, is with that the Stark Tech Nano upgrading the arms and everything, maybe it repaired the chip and allowed him to think straight.
Yes,
it's possible.
Possible. I could see that.
The downside to even if he was falling into the river, that doesn't make him a good guy. It means he had temporary cognitive control over the arms for a moment. Because even in the movie, they were talking about how the chip is what was scrambling his brain. And that's the way most of the Doc Ock series go, is, it's like he has two minds, the AI and his own.
Yeah.
And I agree. He might be an ally due to the Stark Tech. And that's why I think a lot of them are going to get Stark Tech upgrades. Now,
you think we're going to get a Sam Raimi reboot? We're going to get a Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire as old man Spider?
It'd make money. People would pay to see it.
It totally would. Kirsten Dunst would come back.
People want to see Tobey Maguire. Just don't bring back Eric from that 70s show.
Bruh, if they did a Renew Your Vows movie, or like trilogy of movies with like Old Man Peter, Old Woman Mary Jane, and like Annie Mae Parker, like that shit would be fire. Or Mayday Parker. That would be.
I don't know anything about that.
Renew Your Vows is a series that they put out in comics. It's like fully grown, has a family Spider-Man. Okay. Mary Jane has powers now. Then their kid has powers, and they all wander. They all swing around as a family, fighting crime.
Okay. Jesse says his guess is Ock shows up, uses his understanding of multiverse to ally with Peter, then betray him by sharing tech with the villains. I mean, it's a good guess for the twist. That's a really solid guess. But I would feel like that'd be lazy writing. There has to be a different twist than that. Like that's a bigger kind of thing, because this movie isn't going to be the end. There's the sequel is gonna be the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is directed by who? Sam Raimi, the same guy that did the first 3 Spider-Man movies, who has a pretty good
Mm.
understanding of the Spider-Man universe. So
Is he really? That's cool.
yeah. So
I
it's
didn't realize
very,
that.
very possible that this movie will end on a cliffhanger. There won't be a solid ending to it, and they're going to have to wrap it up in Multiverse of Madness.
Mhm. It's possible. I mean, that's very conceivable. They have kind of said that this was almost like the second part of a multiverse trilogy.
Well, if you count WandaVision and Loki as like the first part of it,
Mm.
I would say you combine those 2 shows to be the first part of the multiverse trilogy. I was describing it earlier as WandaVision was part 1, Loki was the prequel that then met up with WandaVision, and then Spider-Man would be the second part in the trilogy, Doctor Strange would be the third part in the trilogy to conclude everything.
Yeah, I think at the end we'll get one of those little bumpers that says like Spider-Man will return in
Doctor Strange. Yeah, see? I really think this is going to end on a little bit more of a cliffhanger. Like, yeah, we're going to see a cool Sinister Six, and then they're all going to get sent back to their own universe without getting killed. It's going to be a happy ending. There's going to be some sort of twist, it's going to be Venom in there, or it's going to be who else? What other villains we got from Spider-Man? It could be anybody. Ned's the Hobgoblin, the one behind it, but it's a different universe. Ned, there's your twist. And
I
then
think you're hedging your bets too much on the Sinister Six. Like, I do not think we're going to see the Sinister Six at all.
I think it's the MCU's version of the Sinister Six. They're not going to come out and be like, Spider-Man, we're the Sinister Six. Like, it's going to be 6 villains that are sinister.
I don't even
So-
even think that that's going to be the case. I feel
What do
like
you, okay, all right, Chip. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Sinister Six is going to show up as a Sony movie, not an MCU movie. I feel like they've already nodded towards it by having Michael Keaton in the Morbius trailer. They're going to have the Sinister Six. My prediction is that they're going to have the Sinister Six fighting Venom and not Spidey. I think Sony is going to move away from Spider-Man as a character because they have to split rights and split money with MCU. Like, whatever contracts Disney has and Sony has, like, they're splitting money. I think Sony's going to move away from Spider-Man as a character and use his universe to do the Sinister Six. They already had said that they're doing a Sinister Six movie, so I don't think they're going to have them show up in this flick. I think it's going to...
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a bunch of villains. I don't think they're going to have 6 at any time. They're probably going to purposefully avoid having 6 just to like not have people be able to. Well, there were 6 of them. It was the Sinister Six.
Or
I don't think
they
that's
have
going to be
like
the case.
a ton of them, or it's just a shit ton of villains. Like
Yeah, there's like at one point in the comics, there's a panel where it like opens up and I think it's Green Goblin. He says, "We're the Sinister 60," and it's literally just 60 of Spidey's rogues gallery of villains, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like, how like.
Ooh, that'd
I
be
mean,
cool. That'd be fun.
yeah.
You just see a bunch of random, like even old,
So obscure.
stupid
Oh, yeah.
villains. Like,
Who's Spot? Watch out for Spot, man.
is he like the polka dot man from Suicide Squad? Is that kind of
No, think like in old cartoons how they would have like a hole and they would throw the black hole on the wall.
Mm.
Oh,
He had
okay.
a he had a
Like a tunnel
belt
and
that
stuff.
generated them though.
Yeah, he would like
What?
It was pocket black holes that he could throw down, and they would create holes
Yeah.
to, I think, like the negative zone or something like that. Actually, but
Yeah, almost like the scene where the scene in Shang-Chi where Abomination knocks himself out like that. Like Spot will get punched in the face and your fist will come out through his stomach and punch you. So like, because he's just like,
Interesting. That's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
it
don't know how I
is
feel
kind
about
of
that.
weird. It's very kind of weird.
Huh. Well, look, either way, this trailer was really good.
It
Like I
was.
said, I've watched it a ton of times and analyzed it and gone through things, and Googled shit and watched videos and stuff. And I'm really excited for this movie to come out. We're all going to be wrong. We're always wrong. Like, I do try and stay away from like spoiler things. Like, I'm not really on Reddit because Reddit likes to spoil everything. And so I try not to be on Reddit at all. But I do, like, obviously I hear rumors and sometimes I agree with them. Sometimes I don't. But I just really hope that this movie's awesome and that I leave the theater like wanting a ton more Marvel. You know what I mean? Like this could be that movie that sets up this whole next phase of Marvel movies, and that's what I would love. Like I feel like Shang-Chi and Eternals are doing the like groundwork for this next giant storyline, which I'll just say I think is Galactus. I think Galactus is going to be the end all be all of this 3 to 4 phase arc, because why wouldn't you do that now that you have rights to all those characters?
I think
So
you're right.
Exactly.
like with Celestials coming in, and you're seeing ancient things coming in. Like why would you not do Galactus? Like, so anyway, aside that all aside, I'm giving this trailer 9 out of 10 webs, because I want to see it. I want to watch it tomorrow. Are you guys more stoked or same stoked after
Dude,
watching the second trailer?
I cried at the trailer. I'm gonna ugly man cry when I'm at the movies.
I mean, you do have
And-
this. You're the Spider-Man of this podcast, so it makes sense.
It's right behind me.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely I'm so stoked for this. It has me. It's like I'm a kid again watching the first Raimi movie, and as much as people hated Spider-Man 3, the first time I saw it as a kid, I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes, Venom looked stupid, but it was like what?
Don't look to the side, Chip. I saw that.
Early 2000s.
No, I was just
So-
thinking like, oh, I forgot to hate that movie.
And
Well,
then Amazing Spider-Man. I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man. I really did. I thought Andrew Garfield did a decent job. And now Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland is killing it. I can't wait to see what they have cooked up for future iterations, whether it's Miles Morales or Annie Mae Parker or, any number of things. So I gave the trade. I would 11.
11 out of 10. All right.
11 for me.
Jesse,
Tom
before we get
Holland
to your
is Peter
question,
Parker.
before we get to Jesse's question, Chip, are you more excited about Spider-Man or same excited about Spider-Man after watching that trailer?
More excited. That trailer was excellent. I'm pretty stoked. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. As soon as he said Scooby Doo this crap, I was like, "Yep, I'm here. I'm here for it. Here we go. Ready. Bring on the 13 ghosts. Like, here we go."
Yeah, he's gonna have to go unmask all the villains. Before we move on to this next, I have one little topic, but Jesse has a question. If Toby and Andrew aren't in it, and it's just 2 more Tom Hollands, would you guys be mad?
No.
I think that would be the biggest troll ever, and I would probably laugh. I would not be mad.
I won't be mad. I mean, will I think that they wasted potential? Yes. But I'm still going to be happy with Spider-Man. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. First of all, Doc Ock says in the trailer, "You're not Peter Parker," so obviously he's looking for a different Peter Parker. Second of all, you're not going to bring in the villains from other movies with the same exact actors and not bring in the Spider-Man from those movies. There's no way. There's no way you swing and miss that hard when you're Marvel and Disney. You think Marvel went to Tobey Maguire and was like, "How much money?" And he denied them? Come on. Like, he's only going to be in the movie for what, 45 minutes tops, probably. Doesn't even have that many scenes because he's going to be a CGI character most of the time and just doing like voice work. Like that's where all of his acting is coming from, is in his own house in a booth doing voice work because they're CGIing Spider-Man into it. That's like there's no way that they are not in this movie. So I like the question, and I would laugh because, again, it would be a huge troll because people like me are screaming, there's no way, but there's no way.
Dude, if
Expensive,
they peel back
yeah.
the mask and it's another goddamn Tom Holland, I'm leaving. Like, nope. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I will throw my popcorn. Nope.
Just throw it up in the air. I'm done.
It's bad. Like, God, it's bad enough that, like, oh man, I don't even know.
And I do think it's possible that this is the most expensive Marvel movie yet. Maybe. I don't know. I think Endgame was probably the most expensive because you had every single actor in that thing. Except for Michael Douglas. He wasn't there for whatever reason. Why was that? What a jerk.
Because he, like, it's all contracts. Like, all those dudes, all those kids were still under contracts, and like they were obliged to be there because their contracts stipulated it. So that's the trick. That's what Marvel was doing. They said they're not going to do it that way anymore, but that's what they were doing. They were signing like contracts for like
deals.
Exactly. Which is how they used to do it, like back in the old days, where it's like it doesn't matter if you want to make this movie or not. Like, you got you under contract. You're gonna make this movie here.
That's why you got X-Men: The Last Stand. So
yeah.
So Roy, you had one other point you wanted to make.
I have two real quick. The first being, so I had said earlier that Sinister Six, even if we're not getting it in this movie, we do know that Sony is working with Marvel now to kind of cross over. We do know that Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kick-Ass, and Quicksilver has been cast as Kraven the Hunter.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
When did I miss that? Okay, look, a lot has happened in the last couple months.
All
so
right.
when did
Hold
that
on.
happen?
Here's the ID. This was months ago. That is the IMDb.
What?
So with
Google the image of him.
I
mean, dude, find the image of him as Kraven. It's like next level.
All right, we're going to images.
I mean, like, are you talking this one? Because like that, okay.
Maybe it was just fan art, but like, or no, maybe it was that picture.
I mean, like,
oh,
how many Marvel characters is this dude gonna play?
Right there. That's probably what you're talking about.
Yep, that one. Badass. I mean, the same amount as Michael B. Jordan, the same amount as Chris Evans. Like,
true.
You know, why are they allowed to play two? Is it just the curse of the Human Torch because the Fantastic Four sucks so bad that it doesn't count if you play one of them? So like, if you play the Human Torch, you're allowed to play another one. Like, why don't they count?
Not every Spidey villain sucks, Jesse.
Most of them do, though.
Every Spidey villain sucks.
Punisher has Stilts Man.
Can you name a Silver Surfer villain for me real quick? Just like name one. I'm just curious. Does Silver Surfer have any villains that are like that occur in your memory? Like, is there one? I'm just curious. Asking the peanut gallery.
Oh man, this is getting.
I can't think of any. Huh? It's weird.
This is great. So before we start a fight,
in the most
way. we're always fighting in the most chat. Galactus. Question mark.
Galactus is his boss.
Yeah, it's his patron.
Anyway, like I was saying before in our chat earlier, one day we're all going to be in the same room together and we're going to have to be civil.
The other point I wanted to bring up is there was something in the international trailer, and people are thinking that it was edited out for the US trailer. The international trailer.
You want to show this video? I could bring it up. You wanna show
I
us?
have it up.
Yeah.
I actually have it up on my screen right now.
Good.
So this video, there's a scene and everybody can see Spider-Man jumping out. Lizard is looking at someone, but he's obviously not focused on Tom Holland, Spider-Man in the thing. Now, if you watch closely, the international video showed what looks like the Lizard being punched, kicked, anything, and maybe they CGI'd the person out. So here it is.
Bam. And he just gets hit by nothing. You can't explain that away either. There's no poles hitting him from Sandman. There's nothing hitting him.
Yeah, and it's
for
not like
Andrew Garfield.
to doctor something like that.
Well,
I
and
feel
to
like
would be
really
like,
bad.
Forget
that
to
portion
take that.
is not. Yeah, that portion's not in the U.S. version either. Like that little.
It's from Brazil. It's the Brazilian
Yeah.
version. So whoever was on the Brazil staff really dropped the ball and probably got fired.
Yeah.
Because how do you mess that up? They've been working on this trailer since the last one came out.
Why do you give
Like-
them like a different trailer? Like,
It's to hype people up because people want to find as
Or they
much
do this-
information they can get.
Or they do this on purpose and they're like, we're just gonna leave one out there and see if they notice. Jesse also just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villains. Are those all villains from Silver Surfer?
too late. He had time to Google.
Shut up.
And technically, Thanos
Beta Ray
isn't-
Bill, that's not a villain.
Yeah,
Korg,
he's a
Thanos.
hero.
Jesus.
And Thanos is an everyone villain,
Maybe
not just
dead.
Silver Surfer.
Reaching.
Well-
Reaching.
I wanted to do one last thing before we move on to Eternals. We had Disney Plus Day come out recently, and there was a lot of announcements, a lot of shows coming to Disney Plus. I'll bring the screen up here. You got X-Men 97 from Marvel
Yep.
Studios, which is awesome. Echo,
Pepper
Spider-Man
needs some
freshman year.
shorts.
Yeah. Agatha, House of Harkness, Marvel Zombies, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, What If Season 2, I Am Groot, Ironheart, and Secret Invasion.
Yes.
So, with all of those being announced, which one do you think is going to be the most predominant in the MCU? Like, look, Loki and WandaVision right now have the most like direct impact with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So moving forward, which one of these do you think is going to have a bigger impact on the MCU?
Secret Invasion all day. Secret Invasion and Ironheart are the two most important.
Why Ironheart? I could see Secret Invasion, but why Ironheart? I don't
'Cause
know
they're
anything
not-
about Ironheart, so learn me.
Because it's not comic books, so they're not gonna like just perpetually bring Tony Stark back from the dead. So you have to replace him, and there must always be an Iron Man. And so Ironheart's got to stay going forward. We know that Armor Wars is coming, so I think Secret Invasion is gonna lead into Armor Wars. And so like Ironheart's gonna like be open ended. That way, when Armor Wars picks up, they can like have her be very predominant in that.
Okay.
I would imagine Armor Wars is going to be a lot to do with like the government telling her that she can't have her own suit, much like they did to Stark in Iron Man 2.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. It seems like they're going very female centric with the heroes moving forward, which is also really cool. They're bringing out a lot of the characters that maybe aren't as heard of, but that are female characters, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Honestly, out of all those, I would be stuck. Obviously, Secret Invasion is going to have probably the biggest impact, but I think Moon Knight is going to be honestly right up there because Moon Knight's kind of one of those psychological horror type superheroes, right? The split personalities, the murder, and all the stuff that he does. And I feel like with the introduction of Dane Whitman, Black Knight, we also know that we're getting Blade. I feel like this is going to be the start of like the darker side of the MCU. And we do know that Disney Plus recently announced that they are going to move towards more adult type of cinema. They're not just going to be doing their PG-13 sections. So,
And in the UK, I believe they actually have a different Disney Plus subscription that is more like adult oriented shows. So it's, I mean, they could be doing that here too, where they're bringing on more stuff. But also Disney owns Hulu, so they could put any of those shows on Hulu, and no one would even bat an eye. Like,
but
I mean, you want to get bloody about it, throw it on Hulu.
yeah.
You know?
But why split brains when you can have it all in one place? I guess. I mean,
then
it's
people are
more
signing up
money
for everything. Because then,
Yeah, you
everyone's
want 'em to-
signing up for the bundle deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
I gotta pay for
what?
my
True.
subscription to Disney for Loki, but I gotta
It's-
pay for my Hulu subscription to get my Blade.
It's just like why they have exclusive trailers on ESPN Monday Night Football. So you're watching it on ESPN Plus, and then you're bundling all those things together. Like they're brilliant. Their marketing schemes are absolutely brilliant, and that's why they own all that stuff now. So they can get people to be like, oh, you know, what's that stupid cartoon we just watched with Patton Oswalt? Oh my god,
MODOK.
MODOK is on Hulu, but
Yeah.
just Hulu.
I'm
But
glad
it's
I
still
used my
part of the MCU,
my free trial for that. I'm
Hitmonkey
so
now.
glad.
You got that Hitmonkey show out that's only on Hulu. You can't get it on Disney Plus. Jesse asks, who will play the live action Hitmonkey, and should I be watching Hitmonkey? I have not seen anything about it, but I would automatically assume Andy Serkis would play live action Hitmonkey because he does all of that live action mocap stuff.
We're
I think it's gonna
typecasting
be
him.
the monkey from Dunstan Checks In. And yes, you should be watching Hitmonkey.
The orangutan.
Yeah.
Woo! What a callback! Holy cow!
Orangutan.
I think we also
Congo
learned.
Pygmaeus.
I think
That's
we also
incredible.
recently learned that Daredevil's coming back. Like
In Spider-Man.
confirmed. Well, no, he is confirmed getting his own series.
Oh yeah. And so is Punisher, I believe.
And
right?
yeah,
If I'm not-
Punisher is supposed to be in Moon Knight. So that's
Okay.
where I think that's why I think that's going to be more relative, because it's going to be that, you know, your Secret Avengers type of stuff. Or
sure.
not Dark Avengers, Secret Avengers, New Avengers. Might
Pick
be the
one?
New Avengers. It's hard, all right, because like certain comic book series, they always change their lineup, but like I know like New Avengers when it came out was Spider-Woman, Doctor Strange, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and I think Punisher.
It's the one that started during Civil War.
Yeah.
So before we wrap this up, because we're coming on an hour, and I want to get going on Eternals. They didn't mention anything about live action X-Men. They brought in the new cartoons that they're going to make, but doesn't Echo have something to do with the X-Men? Isn't Echo like a mutant or something like that?
I'm not entirely sure who Echo is.
She is Kingpin's deaf daughter.
Really?
Yep.
Like for real?
On the real.
Oh, okay.
Kingpin's deaf daughter.
I thought she had something to do with the X-Men though. So I'm just curious because there was nothing mentioned about it. Everyone is obviously clamoring to see X-Men and
I might-
Fantastic Four.
I might be
But-
wrong, but I think Echo got the Phoenix Force in like the most recent run of comics where the Phoenix came back.
Okay. Yeah, I could obviously I'm like completely wrong in my guessing, but I just wonder how they're going to bring that in. When are they going to bring in the X-Men and Fantastic Four? Like they did kind of announce it, kind of, but not really. So
I don't know. I'm stoked for X-Men 97. I'm stoked that I heard that like I haven't seen the new Hawkeye trailer, but I heard that they confirm Kingpin is the villain. So that's
that's
super
cool.
dope. Like really
That's way
excited
cool.
for Vincent
Yes.
D'Onofrio, and that's
I
going
did
to bring
see-
in Echo.
I did see Vincent tweet out, "So excited for the next MCU show. These are really good," or something like that. He
Yeah,
was trying to be sly, but everyone was like, "Okay, we see you."
yeah.
Real quick, I'm going to answer Jesse's question. Isn't Spider-Woman a telepath and not a spider person? No, she's not a telepath. So they kind of actually joked about this in the No Way Home first trailer when Mary Jane was talking about spiders producing pheromones. Part of her powers is she has the ability to release pheromones. She still spider climbs on walls and has venom blasts and also super strength, all that standard stuff. So yes, she is technically still a spider person. I don't remember how she got her powers though.
Experimentation by Hydra, because her mom is Madam Hydra. She was like a double agent working for Shield, but working for Hydra. She has energy blasts out of her hands as well. Yeah, she there's like a really funny meme that's a panel of like she's got Hulk helping her move because of her pheromones, and Hulk's following her, and he's like, Hulk would rather smash. It's a good meme that you see.
So those Eternals.
That's really funny.
Hulk
So-
smashing anything is scary.
Hulk would rather smash.
Just dropping the third leg, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Spider, thank you for splaining that to me. Your Spider, welcome. We are going to move on to Eternals, the latest MCU movie that came out just a couple weeks ago. We were all fortunate enough to watch it. Unfortunately, I was not able to go see Shang-Chi when it came out, so that's why I was not part of that. But I did go see Eternals in IMAX. It was awesome. And for anyone that hasn't seen it yet, sorry, Jesse, this is probably the time to take off because we're just going to wrap up the show with Eternals, and it's going to be very spoiler centric. So if you have not seen Eternals, definitely go see it and then join us on the podcast on Spotify or anywhere you listen to shows and check it out there. There's not look, let's go. Oh, thanks, Jesse. Thanks for being here. I will see you on Friday for the Sudden But Inevitable Rebop, where we are joined by Cameron from the Green Shirt podcast to talk about James Gunn's movie Slither. It's gonna be good. I love that movie. It's a fun one. But yes, Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll see you guys there. Sweet. Have a good night, Jesse. So, Eternals. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, an unexpected tragedy forces the Eternals, ancient aliens who have been living on Earth in secret for thousands of years, out of the shadows to reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants. This movie stars Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Kit Harington, Kumail Nanjiani, Leah McHugh, Brian Henry, Lauren Riddoff. All sorts of people. There's a lot of people in this movie. Harry Styles actually makes a cameo in this movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was great. Who is it? Was this directed by Deborah Chow? No, Chloe Zhao. Sorry. She did the screenplay. She directed. Chloe Zhao is who directed it. Deborah Chow is doing Obi-Wan Kenobi. How can I fuck that up? Um, I really enjoyed this movie. It was long. There was a lot that happened in it. It wasn't the normal Marvel movie. There was a cool twist. The actors were good. There was some fun comedy. This is the first Marvel movie with a sex scene. This is the first Marvel movie with a gay couple. This was a groundbreaking movie for all sorts of ways. It introduced giant beings from, outside our universe, and it really kind of, man, it opened up the MCU in a lot of different ways that maybe aren't so apparent right now, but I think as time goes on, if there's a sequel to this movie or a show or something on these characters, I think this could have a lot bigger of an impact on the MCU than most people realize. What did you guys think of the whole, let's just rate it really quick before we really start getting into it, because I feel like if we rate it first, then we don't have to worry about doing that later, and we can just really go bounce off a bunch of things, because a lot of stuff happened in this movie, and I feel like we're going to go on some tangents, and that's okay. Chip, what would you rate this movie out of 10 Celestials? 10 eyeballs?
I feel like 10 eyes. I feel like probably give it a good 8. It was definitely not the worst movie I've ever seen, but there's definitely some room for improvement. So, yeah.
Roy, what about you? Chip says there's room for improvement at an 8. I feel like room for improvement means more of a 6, but I'll give it to you. 8. What do you say, Roy?
And I'm hard pressed between a 6 and a 7. I'm gonna be nice and give it the 7 because yes, there were a lot of great points to it. It did leave me wanting more, but as far as a Marvel movie, like the MCU type, it definitely, for me, did not fit that mold. And I thought it was good as a standalone, much better than the Inhumans did. And I feel like this was a replacement for what the Inhumans was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I think for that reason that you said, that it's not the typical Marvel movie, that's why I would give it an 8. I would agree with Chip and do an 8 on this, because it was so good in its own way. It wasn't that hero, find the hero lost. Hero gets, brought back into his old world that he didn't want to be in. Hero fights boss. Hero wins. Hero becomes hero and joins Avengers. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was these secret protectors and like guiders of humanity living, in the shadows and adapting to each different sort of wave that the human race came with. Like, they're going through everything. They came here with the Mesopotamic time, like it was, or 5,000 BC or something like that. So they've been here forever, and they are the ones that helped us, or helped humanity get to where they are now, which was the downfall. Essentially, they did everything they needed to do to create this, big boss or whatever. But I really compared this movie a lot to have you guys ever seen the History Channel classic Ancient Aliens?
Not I.
There was a lot of it. Just kind of, I just kept seeing Giorgio Tsoukalos doing his like big hair thing, because the Eternals were the Greek gods. The Eternals were, all these special beings in humanity's existence, and here they are just like chilling. One lady's a teacher. She's a college professor, who's ironically dating Jon Snow, which is really funny. I don't know. Anyway, I really
like 5 generations of actors.
Yeah, my great grandpa was an actor. My grandpa was an actor. My dad. Now I'm an actor. Yeah, that's That's wonderful, and I love that character. By the way, I thought he did fantastic as just the funny guy.
I thought,
I really, really liked him.
what was his entourage's name? Quran, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. How
I
many
love
cameras do you have?
always have a backup. Always have a backup for the backup.
Yeah, yeah, and he was great. It's just all that like comparing, these beings that we're watching were, all of the gods from ancient times. I find that fascinating, and I love that. And I love that they helped humanity without necessarily helping humanity. The biggest thing that they explained in this movie was the Thanos. Why didn't they help with Thanos? And it was because they can't interfere with anything that happens with humans. They have to let them make their own choices, which I found very interesting. I would like to ask you guys, Roy, what are your thoughts on the Eternals not interfering with Thanos, even though he was wiping away half of everyone, and that would essentially inhibit their main plan?
So
Stop their main goal.
I'm trying to think of her name, the leader, the Prime,
Ajax.
the Eternal
Ajax.
Ajax. That's right. So Ajax, up until like a part into this movie, is the only one that knew what the Eternal or the Celestials actually did, until she told Icarus. Now, I think the reason she didn't tell everyone to get involved is because secretly she was happy that it happened, because now she doesn't have to sacrifice the world, and she was already planning on taking down Tyaboot. So I think that's part of the reason they didn't actually get involved, because the way it was, I'm pretty sure if Hephaestus's is it Festus or is it Hephaestus? I think it's just Festus.
Wasn't it like Apophis or something like that?
Are you talking? Who are you talking? Which one? God, there's so many characters.
The creator.
Oh,
inventor.
Jeez.
Oh,
I'm looking it up.
Pathos. So,
Fastos.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to be. It's supposed to be Hephaestus. Basically, is his Greek version, but I think he would have had the biggest stake because he would have had his kid and his husband at the time. So I think if his family blipped, I think he totally would have gotten involved.
Okay. Interesting. And I wonder, I mean, the Eternals and the Celestials weren't affected by the snap. I believe that has been confirmed.
Yeah.
That nobody in those like particular circles were affected by the Thanos snap. So that would make sense that he didn't get involved because nothing happened to him. He was like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm fine. It's great. The roads are a lot clearer nowadays." What about you, Chip? What are you like okay with the Eternals using that as an excuse, or like don't you think Icarus would have gotten involved? I really feel like
I think it was a really flimsy excuse considering Thanos is an Eternal, and he's obviously like.
and he's got what deviant genes, doesn't he? I think that's what
yeah,
they said.
possibly. Yeah, but I feel like with Thanos's brother showing up and saying he's an Eternal, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Thanos is actually an Eternal as well. And maybe he was a Prime, so he knew the plan. And he's like, Thanos was right. He's just trying to save the entire universe from having their planets get blown up by thinning the herd a little bit so that those Celestials don't get born.
How interesting would that be if like that was another reason why Thanos was doing it, to save all these planets from Celestials being born out? So like he knew that
I mean,
was going on, but he never really
that
said
was my
anything.
thought when like Eros shows up and says like, "Yeah, I'm Thanos' brother. I'm an Eternal." I was like, "Bruh, so Thanos was an Eternal, and he was like actually saving all these planets by blipping out half the pop." Okay.
Roy, what do you got?
So that brings up a whole different question then. If Thanos is an Eternal, but Eternals are not affected by the blip or the snap, why was Thanos affected by the snap? Because
you think about it, because Tony Stark thought about it and thought him away. Like that's whenever he did his snap, the whole reason he did it was to take away Thanos' army. It wasn't to do anything else. It was to blip them out of this existence. Because technically they're from the past. They had come here via time machine, and so he just blipped that like timeline, he blipped that timeline out. Which would make a lot of sense in the Loki realm because he pruned that whole timeline. And then you still have the original timeline that makes everyone disappear. That's it. I mean, that's what I would think, right?
Yeah.
So I'm probably the only one that, when that mid-credit scene rolled, that wasn't like jumping and cheering, because I don't know who Harry Styles is. I was like,
care.
okay.
I was more focused on trying to pinpoint the voice of Pan, because I was like, dude, I know that voice.
This is Patton Oswalt.
Is that who it was? Okay.
Yeah.
I
God, 'cause
recognize
I was like, I
MODOK.
know that voice, but who is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Immediately, I was like, oh, good old Patton Oswalt. Just
I like Patton.
he's going to be
Oswalt.
like
He's
8
great.
different characters. I hope they bring the Patton Oswalt MODOK into the MCU. I think that'd be fantastic.
I thought they were talking about having Jim Carrey play MODOK.
I wouldn't be there for that.
I'd be all over that.
What a waste.
Great. Wow.
And
Chip's been banished from the chat for 5 minutes.
There's like, I don't know. There's better characters that you could get Jim Carrey to play.
You're right.
The rumors is that MODOK is going to be the big villain for like the X-Men series or whatever they're going to do. So
Maybe
I don't know.
Mojo.
No, it was MODOK. That's at least what I read. I can
Dislike.
find the article. I can find the article and bring it up later, but yeah,
It's not. I mean, not necessary. I'm just like, I don't like that. Not a fan of that.
Sure. I'd be okay with it. I love Jim Carrey though. So moving forward, obviously the whole not taking out Thanos or helping out kind of makes sense in that aspect of they didn't want the Celestial to break the earth.
Yeah.
I did want to ask, what was your favorite Eternal? You had Circe, that was the healer. Icarus was the Superman of this world, which, by the way, was really funny.
No. Ajax was the healer. Circe
Ajax was the
could
healer.
change matter into other
Matter. That's right, like water and stuff.
Transmute.
I love the scene with Icarus where the kid is like, "Are you Superman?" Because it kind of broke my brain a little bit. I was like, "Oh, so that
I mean, he is.
What is happening?" But anyway, out of all those Eternals, Circe, Icarus, Athena, Ajax, Kingo, Sprite, Phastos, and Gilgamesh, and Druid.
Druid. It was a G.
Sorry,
I believe it was a
Druid.
G at the end of that.
I read it wrong. What was your favorite? Who was your favorite Eternal?
My favorite was the one you didn't mention, Makari.
Makari? My bad. I couldn't remember if that. There's so many characters.
Yeah. I liked Makari. She was cool.
And remind me,
was
what was her power again?
She was the speedster. She was super fast.
That's why I didn't remember, because she was hardly in it.
And she's the deaf character. She was signing all of her
Right.
lines.
Right. Was that the first main character that was deaf in the MCU too? Was that another first?
I think so. Definitely the first one that like signed all of her lines.
Well, I mean,
that's cool. There's a lot of firsts in this movie.
Clint Barton's not completely deaf. I mean, he is partially deaf, I believe. But she's the first completely deaf character for sure.
So yeah, that's what I meant. So, who was your favorite Eternal, Roy?
Uh, it, honestly, it's so much of a toss up. The two that I loved out of the Eternals more than anyone else was Druig and Gilgamesh. Um, Druig, because he saw the problem with humans and the conflicts they were causing. He wanted to step in but couldn't, and he still gave them free will at his little commune that he had until it came time to work against a normal threat, and then immediately he took over so that they could be one cohesive unit.
Right. So they could be a board.
But then Gilgamesh is that stereotypical, stalwart friend who is not going to let you suffer alone, and over time becomes an artist in some way, shape, or form. The guy was an amazing chef and made, beer from his own spit. And, it was
Yeah.
like
I'm drinking your spit right now.
Yeah, he made me like him so much just because of how much he cared for Thena. It's
Right.
like, I don't love you, but I'm not going to let you suffer alone. I'm going to be here
Right.
for you. My shoulder is open, and that speaks volumes. Because it's great to have people like that in your life. So it just this last month, it hit. I think seeing that hit me more than anything because of the social network I have, and realizing true friends can, move mountains, move stars, change a world for you. So
yeah, I'm right there with you. I can totally attest to that as well. Yeah, I really like that dynamic of those two characters. The I'm here to take care of you. We're in this for the long haul. Like I know who you really are, and you're a good person, and I'm gonna do what I can to help you out. And I would agree that it kind of hit home a little bit with, that whole just that whole dynamic. It was great. It was wonderful. My favorite character, obviously, because I'm a funny man, it was Kingo, because that guy was hilarious, and I liked
funny.
I liked his power too. Shoots out of his fingers.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. Also, he took full advantage of his eternal life by becoming a 7-time Academy Award-winning actor.
Super prolific legacy.
My great-great-grandpa was an actor. My great-great-grandpa was an actor. My great-grandpa, my grandpa, and my father. And now I am an actor.
Something tells me my son's going to be an actor too.
Yeah.
I think when he got to himself, he said, "And now I'm an actor and producer and director."
Yeah.
He was good. He was, yeah, I really liked him. And he was just there to, he was like, "Can we just be cool? Just be cool, guys.
Yeah.
Let's just be cool. Come on." Like, that's me for sure. Come on, guys. Let's just be cool. Come on.
No, it's cool. He's been my assistant for 50 years.
Yeah.
He knows everything. It's fine.
He knows everything. Yeah, and that was also surprising about that movie. I feel like everybody knew that they were Eternals. Like so many people knew who they were. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a few, but
like Dane
maybe it's just because
didn't-
there were so many characters that were Eternals that I was like,
yeah, like Dane didn't know that Cersei was a Eternal per se. I mean, he knew what Sprite told him, right? But Sprite is a notorious for spinning tales and stories and all that kind of stuff.
She's an illusionist.
Yes. So for all he knew, she was just yanking his leg because he started noticing weird things. And like, she's just, oh yeah, she's some huge celestial being. she's got all these amazing powers, and he's like, I just saw her turn water into coffee. That's not huge. I figured she was Doctor Strange powered, and he even
But her
says
ex
that.
can fly.
Yeah. Oh, poor Jon Snow. That poor guy. He's always like being looked over that other dude.
And it's funny because it's his brother. It's
Yeah. What was his name in Game of Thrones? His brother's name. I can't remember.
so there was
He had
John.
John, and then started with a B. Was it a B?
Bran?
No, Bran was the youngest.
Benjen?
No, Benjen was the
Ben.
uncle.
Are we
It's
talking the Stark brothers?
Yeah, the older
There
brother.
was Bran,
Ew.
Rickon, Sansa.
How are we
I
drawing
can't-
a blank? Come on, Chip. You've read these books. You should
I've
know.
read them too, and I'm drawing a blank.
The
King
one
of the
that
North.
dies. The one that dies in the Red Wedding.
Yeah. His wife gets stabbed right in the baby.
What's his
Um,
name? Gets stabbed. Oh my god. Oh, that was such a horrible scene.
It's so much worse in the book, dude. Like,
How do you?
um,
You have all these vivid images. of
Rob.
that.
There
Oh,
it is.
Rob. Yes, thank you. Wow. We have computers all around us, and we just figured it out. Rob. Yes. Poor John, always getting robbed in anything that he's in.
I don't know,
Although-
man. Those
although he
books are pretty
is-
awesome. I feel like Rob Stark made John King before he got. We'll find out, maybe. Maybe.
See, I didn't read any of the books, so I would not know.
Oh, you really should.
But anyway, Jon Snow, also known as Dane Whitman, also known as Black Knight, also known as new friend of Blade, because that was cool. I actually didn't stay for the second end credits scene.
I didn't either. I had to pee so bad. I was like, no, I gotta go pee.
Yeah, I just didn't. I was like, whatever. And I watched it when I got home, but that was cool hearing Blade's voice in there. I can never pronounce that guy's name. Last name is Ali though, and he's the one playing Blade. And he had talked to Dane Whitman, as he was like touching a sword. I believe he was picking up the legendary sword of the Black
Ebony
Knight, or something
Blade.
like that. Ebony Blade. Thank
Yep.
you. So that's cool. Black Knight may come into the Moon Knight series. Is that right? Or maybe it'll be the Blade series. It'll be the Blade
Blade, I
series,
think.
I bet.
And
He'll
it's
be the
funny
Ryan
because
Reynolds of that movie.
the Ebony Blade is basically just as powerful as Mjolnir. So
can see it both ways.
we could effectively have our new Thor for the next phase of Avengers.
Nah. I mean,
Maybe
Kit
maybe not
Harington
quite.
doesn't. Kit Harington doesn't have a lot going on right now, but I don't think he's gonna sign up for that. He's also not as pretty. He doesn't have as good a hair
Definitely.
or muscles.
Hair,
He's kinda
I
plain,
would give him
pale.
good hair.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he was pretty ripped in Pompeii.
They're just not gonna use those characters anymore. I think they're just gonna
Wave him
all
off.
the
Sound
actors are gonna retire and they're just gonna like move on with all these side characters. I feel like they keep experimenting with like,
They'll have
now
cameos.
how
and
obscure of a side character can we use? Oh, okay.
Give
People
me
actually
Puck.
like this show. All right, cool. Keep going with it then.
Give
Sure.
me Alpha
Oh.
Flight. Just saying.
That could
I-
happen.
I-
That could
I-
happen.
I will definitely go see an Alpha Flight movie.
Oh, that's hilarious. I think I have Alpha Flight number 1. Pretty sure. Somewhere. Yeah. So what were they called? The demigods?
Deviants.
Deviants.
Deviants. Demigorgons. Stranger Things. The Deviants. What did you guys think of the Deviants?
Stereotypical monsters that evolve and become a bigger threat, but aren't the true villain of the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
total
See?
MCU deception there. I was really thinking they
Mid-boss.
were going to be
Mid-boss.
symbiotes.
Really?
Yep. For a minute there, I thought they were going to be symbiotes, and they were going to bring in symbiotes. But
It would have been a good.
They
Not
they
a
were
good
created by
cast.
the Celestials, though, right? Just like the Eternals
Yeah.
weren't they? Those guys also.
yeah, that's
They
what
were
Crow told them.
they were the
Okay.
first iteration of Eternal, and then they kept
Okay.
evolving and becoming an apex predator. And they're like, nope, we can't have that because you're
Sure.
killing off our sperm. Technically, that's what the intelligent races are. They're sperm to fertilize the egg.
Yep. Just walking, talking.
This
bags
episode
of
now
jizz.
has an NC-17 rating, guys.
I don't think that's. Roy.
I'm sorry. If you think about it, that's what
He's out of
that's what-
line, but he's not wrong.
It's kind of where I'm at. Like, I mean, I guess that makes sense a little, but I feel like it's more of a collective conscience. It's not sperm. What? it's like the more, what do you call it? God, life. Jesus, man, the more sentient life that's collected around the world, the more you get like. Hey,
Welcome,
Susie. Roy is trying to make this an NC-17 rated podcast. I am trying to explain it in a more real way, I guess.
Mild mannered.
Yeah, mild. Like, it's like the more people that are here that have intelligent life, the more the egg grows. Which, okay, I see where you're coming from with that, but it's more like the human race is the light to the egg that's already been fertilized. Because
So the more
technically the egg that's going into the earth, like the earth is the egg, and the celestial is the sperm going
yolk?
into the earth, and then the humans are the light to incubate the egg, which then bursts into this giant celestial being. That makes so much more sense in my head.
And this is why we need sex ed in public education.
Earth, egg, celestial egg, sperm, humans, light. Jesus, I don't.
The children.
Right. I think that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense.
Right?
And the more humans that are on Earth,
the
more humans that are on Earth, the more light they have to incubate said egg. Anyway, we were talking about the deviants and how they are. I can't remember like the one that started sucking everybody's powers. Was that an accident or was that an evolution of the deviant? Okay. And Icarus just let that shit happen, right? He's
Icarus totally fed her to the deviants, but did not expect that outcome.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he certainly wasn't expecting them to start flying around.
Right. Which, spoiler alert, Icarus is the twist of this movie. He is the bad guy. Yeah. Which I was very surprised about. I think I audibly gasped when it happened. I was like, not Rob Stark. No way. He's a hero. And then he was not. What did you guys think of the twist?
It was a cool flashback scene. I liked it.
Not the one I expected. Not the one of the Eternals I expected to turn on the party.
Good to see you, Susie. Thanks for stopping in.
I honestly expected the Eternals to be the major flaw. Would be Druig and Festos. I thought those two were going to be in cahoots to bring, to end the cahoots to end the Celestials' plans.
Okay. That
You
makes
know,
sense.
and not in the way that they ended the Celestials' plans, but you know, to break the cycle.
Sure. Makes sense. Chip, what did you think about that twist?
I thought it was good. It was unexpected.
I say, were you caught off guard? Because I was caught off guard. Sometimes
Yeah, it's
you can like see those twists coming, but I did not see that one at all.
no, I didn't see it coming until the flashback scene, basically.
Right.
Like no, I don't think. Like, I'm trying to think if I feel like I had like weird vibes from Icarus, like shortly before the flashback, but I feel like that was like when they started tipping their hand. It wasn't like me catching on early. I feel like they had the actor giving like those facial cues and hesitations at that point, and that's when I started being like, he doesn't seem as enthused about like actually stopping the show.
Stopping.
And then they did the
Yeah.
flashback, and I was like, oh, okay.
That makes sense. Roy, you look like you just had some sort of epiphany. What?
I did.
don't know.
I was just thinking, you know, Game of Thrones, Robb Stark had the Red Wedding. Eternals, Robb Stark caused the Red Birthing.
I
Roy's,
dead
Roy's
ass
out of
did
the
not
stream for a minute.
recognize him. Was that really Robb Stark? Like, I did not realize
Yeah,
that
it
was
is
him.
Robb
Icarus?
Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, did not realize that was him. He looks
Richard
a lot better in this
Richard
movie.
Madden.
Yeah,
Well, I
he looks
mean-
way better in this flick. This is the hair. He looks way better with like the straight hair slicked back versus like the curly mop on his head.
Sure.
I did
Doesn't
not
he
recognize
have
him.
the curly mop during the movie?
Mm-mm.
No.
Jon
No, he
Snow
always
had
looks like
curly hair,
Superman.
but
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
had his
both of
hair
them.
like slicked
I
back.
think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Chloe Zhao do a lot of Game of Thrones stuff? Maybe not. I could be wrong.
Not sure.
So one thing, my big takeaway from this entire movie, it was a good movie. My biggest takeaway was I thought this was a testing ground for Galactus because of the scene when the big celestial, the prime celestial, I can't think of his name, abducted Cersei.
I think it's Apophis.
It's Arishem.
Arishem, that's
Arishem.
it.
Okay. Good
but
looking out.
that scene where the heavens split and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and he abducts Cersei, that
When he like shows up like
Yeah.
outside of Earth and you can like see him in the clouds and stuff.
mhm.
That was one of the coolest scenes ever. I was like that, and you're right. That was totally a testing ground because that could be a Galactus scene right there,
Yeah,
where Galactus shows up and he's like, "Oh, hello, I'm here to eat your planet."
yeah. And then you think, well, we're fucked because
Yeah.
our heroes can't contend with that.
Right.
If the Eternals can't do it, we've got no chance. We had trouble with Thanos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and-
we didn't even use our best weapon against Thanos. I feel like if a Celestial shows up, Ant-Man's going up into space.
Yeah, but Ant-Man can't fight.
No, he
He
goes
has no
up.
powers.
He goes up.
Oh.
Oh.
He goes up and then he gets bigger.
He's got to get quite a bit bigger. though.
Okay, yeah.
But he's
A lot of
starting at
orange
normal
slices
size, so
for
it's
him.
cool. He doesn't have to shrink down.
Oof. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think, like I was saying before, this is has a lot more implications to the MCU as a whole.
Mhm.
I look at this movie a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy came out and it was a really fun movie that, introduced some cool characters, but it really, really had a huge impact on the MCU. It
Mhm.
brought in the galaxy aspect of our characters. It brought in Thanos a little bit clearer. It brought in a little bit more about Infinity Stones, that sort of stuff. I mean, between Shang-Chi and Eternals, you got the 10 rings that have an ancient beacon that's older than anyone can even explain. And
Yep.
then with the Eternals, you have these ancient beings that were around during the Big Bang that are huge, that could resemble Galactus type characters, and introducing them, and like you were saying, it's a testing ground. How are people going to react to this movie? I, for one, loved that scene where Arishem shows up and he's like in the clouds, outside of Earth. It was like it was like he was, when you're in a pool and you're like floating there and you have a big ball in your hands. It was like he was in space just floating there right around the Earth. You know what I mean? Just kind of looking at it. And I thought that was awesome. So what did you guys think? Are you cool with that, Roy? Are you okay with them starting this process this early?
Yes. I am absolutely okay with it. They have so much to build upon, and the fact, there's no way that countless countries across the world didn't see the big man in the sky. So whether we're actually ready for it or not, it's happening. I think this opens up the possibility of like Battle World and all that kind of stuff with like the Beyonder also.
Sure.
So I would love to see Battle World.
Chip, what about you? Are you cool with them introducing these kind of like giant characters right now? Like, what did you think of that scene at the end?
That was my problem. Like, the scene was cool. I was like a little bit confused by the ending. Like I don't know. He's like, yeah, I'll spare him, but I'm gonna test you. And then so he blips them out. Like, okay, weird. But I don't know. In general, no, I'm not really like cool with this direction. I don't like it per se. It's just too much. It's too big. Like, the threat is, it's like not a threat you can contend with. I don't know.
Not yet.
Even when they introduce like the galactic portion with like Guardians, like, sure, you're dealing with like big, bad, scary individuals like the like Proxima Midnight and Thor and the Accuser, but
Kind of
like
Warlock.
those are still just like, yeah, but those are still just like powered individuals. Like, I don't know. This thing's like a whole like solar system crusher. Like, it doesn't even have to come close enough to your, like, if they wanted you gone, they don't even have to get close enough to your planet for you to really be aware of them. They just show up in your solar system, clap another planet, the shockwave's going to take you out. There's not, I don't know, the threat's greater than the like fight that anybody can offer up. Any resolution is going to be like a Deus Ex Machina, where like, haha, all that plot armor saved the day. So I'm like, not as into it. Not as into it. Like, Galactus is one thing when you have like the ultimate nullifier, but now we're talking about like, oh, you pissed off this whole race of like planet-sized threats, but they're not gonna just show up and snuff out your sun. Like, yeah, I don't know. It too much.
Galactus is just gonna kill all of them. He's just gonna kill all the Celestials and be like, yeah, okay, I own this now.
Yeah. So, and you got to remember, if we get Galactus, that means we're getting his heralds, and his herald, Silver Surfer, fought against him, and has fought against him on multiple occasions. So we know that we're getting that. With what if the final fight between Doctor Strange, Ultron, and the multiversal Avengers, the way Doctor Strange put up the shields and stuff around the Avengers in that, I felt like looking back at it now, I can see maybe the Eternals or the Silver Surfer or something giving that kind of power to fight Galactus, and it being some kind of big cosmic fight. Then maybe we get Cosmic Spider-Man. You never know. It's how they do it. I'm excited to see, but I can completely see where you're coming from, Chip. I could even agree with some of the things you said, but I'm still excited for it.
No, and I think you're onto something with Battle World / Secret Wars. Like, I think that's what he was alluding to. Like, I think the Eternals getting blipped out at the end of the movie by Arishem is him taking them to
Somewhere.
yeah. I imagine that.
Wasn't he taking them to be judged or something?
Yeah, that's what he said. And so I imagine the sequel is going to be like kind of like that. But the weird thing, that's why I got confused, because he said he was going to judge their experience, which made me think that he was going to leave them on Earth and then judge them when they were done. But he like blips them out, so I'm like,
and he didn't blip all of them,
just the ones that he sucked up, right?
Yeah, Cersei. Who else was still on the planet? Festos would have been
Icarus.
one of them, and then
Icarus went to the sun.
Yeah, Icarus.
Oh, that's right. He flew. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Kingo would have been one of the ones left on the plane. Sprite's no longer an Eternal, so she wouldn't count.
Nope. Makari, Druig, and Thena all flew off.
Gilgamesh is dead. Ajak is dead. Are we missing
Maybe
anyone?
it is just Cersei. Jeez. Cersei, Kingo,
and Festos.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Huh.
Especially
it'll be interesting to see if they do a sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
Or like a sequel series, or just something to continue the Eternals story. I haven't heard anything concrete yet about them giving it a green light or anything. So,
and they may just have the characters show up again in other flicks.
Yeah.
Now, did all the deviants die in the movie? Did they kill every deviant?
I think so. Because the deviants that showed up in there, like, they had killed them all before, like thousands of years ago, and they showed up now because they were frozen in ice, and global warming had melted the ice down, and they became free and stuff.
Well, I know they killed one by turning it into a tree. Then one was cut in half by Icarus's like light eye lasers, but whether it really died or not, especially since they're continually evolving to be better, part of me was thinking, well, that would be a good way to, if they're evolving and they could evolve to integrate with humans, there's a good way to introduce mutants as well. But
yeah, I really thought
that would be stretching it.
I thought that mutants were going to come into this movie. I thought this was going to be the like launch pad of mutants somehow. But I did read somewhere that the amount of energy that the Celestial that was hatching gave off could awaken a mutant gene in humans.
Well, yeah, that's just basic science.
Thank you, Dr. Nelson.
I just loved how matter-of-factly you said it. Like, all these scientists are like, I mean, all the energy that Celestial gave off.
No, I was watching like some theory video about the Celestial giving.
It was just the funny matter-of-fact way that you were saying it. Like, well, yeah, this is known. We learned about that in elementary school. That's all it takes: microwave and some latent genes. Bingo, bango, you got a mutant.
Well, either way, I think it'd be cool, but I also think that's kind of a stretch. I think mutants getting introduced is going to be a little bit more cut and dry. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna just be here, or it's gonna be after the multiverse, because why not, right? I feel like that would probably create some mutants, but anyway, I digress. I don't have a lot of other things about this movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think everyone should see it because it was different than a normal Marvel movie. It wasn't, one hero versus one bad guy. It was like a collective mind deciding to save the world from their original plan that they were sent to achieve or accomplish. So it was I really liked the way that it went, and I liked some of the, like I said, the giant implications that it has on possible future movies. But did you guys have anything else that you wanted to talk about with this movie? We talked about the end credit scenes.
I
talked
want to see
about
that.
the
I want to see
powers.
that Druig Makari spinoff. Those two were really awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
They're
That would be
like
way
cute
cool.
little flirting. Like they were awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that actor too. He's from Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
No, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Not your standard Marvel. So yes, I felt there was a lot of slower portions to this movie than normal.
A lot more
I-
dialogue, a lot more story.
I
for
watched
sure.
it. I took my 12-year-old son with me to watch it. And, normally he's all for Marvel movies. He's happy to see them. And walking out, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was pretty much, well, that was different. It was, and looking at my son, I'm just thinking, well, yeah, it's a different take on a Marvel movie. And he's like, well, the fights were good and everything, but I didn't understand a lot of what was going on. And for a first-time viewer, the reason I gave it a 7 is because, yes, a first-time viewer, they did good exposition and explaining stuff, but people aren't going to understand how this outwardly affects the Marvel universe. So,
well, and you bring up a good point with your kid. Like the 12, 13-year-old kid isn't going to know what all of these past things are. Like I was stoked to see the Greek stuff, the I think they did Roman Empire thing. Like there was all sorts of cool history things involved in this movie that most kids that are looking to see Iron Man or Captain America don't care about. They don't want a history lesson. They just want to see people get wrecked. And there wasn't even a lot of that in this movie. It was more fighting the deviants. You didn't really fight any other person except for Icarus, I guess.
Yeah.
But like they didn't fight the Celestials. They just had to protect what's her name to freeze him or whatever. Like it was very different, and it would make sense that a lot of kids wouldn't understand it or even really enjoy it just because of the I don't know, I guess the magnitude of this movie, because there was a lot going on.
And it's great because like my kid totally had a Steve Rogers moment during the movie when Icarus is talking about how he could lead the Avengers and all that. And my kid's like, I understood that reference. It's
ooh, the Avengers.
I know that.
Who did they like? Who? I missed the line like right before that. He said somebody was an Avenger for a while. Like, was it one of them?
It was my dude. Oh my goodness, Karin? No. Kingo.
Kingo was an Avenger.
He said
for a
no.
while?
He said Thor followed him around.
Oh,
he was like Thor used to follow me around all the time, and we hung out, and then he became an Avenger, and we just kind of quit hanging out.
that's funny.
Yeah.
I do have one thing, but it has nothing to do with this movie. So once we're done talking about it, I'll bring it up. But unless now is the time.
I mean, Chip, do you have anything else? We rated the movie.
Nah, that was it for me.
Okay.
Well,
Go for it, Roy. I think we're about done here.
I have an exclusive scoop on the Spider-Man trailer.
Oh.
This is first time seeing it, but I have a picture unedited of who punched Lizard.
Oh God, here it comes. I hate you.
So
jeez.
John Cena is portraying old man Peter Parker. Yes, he punched the Lizard. That's why he didn't appear on camera.
Because that's
You can't see me. I'm sorry. It was a good joke. I was laughing internally when I pulled this up.
oh my god.
Listen, I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on this live episode of Marvel Canon Madness podcast. We had a lot of fun. All the viewers, thank you for joining us in the chat. Jesse, Susie, and anybody else that was watching tonight. Roy has ruined the whole episode for me, so this will always stay burned in my brain. And I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. So we're doing this a little different because we started this show with a trailer, so we're not going to end this show with a trailer. We're just gonna do our normal sign off. But first, Roy, oh my god, I hate you. What you got going on this week? You got any streams happening? Any other shows coming out? Anything like that?
Yeah, so I started streaming more again. I took a brief hiatus from streaming. I also have a new episode coming of the Intrepid DM Journeys next Wednesday with I'm trying to think of her last name is really hard to say because she is Swedish, but she is a Swedish author of tabletop role-playing games. Her name is Rebecca. I don't want to butcher her last name.
Don't do it.
I haven't said it in like a week, so I'm not gonna. But Rebecca joined me. It was a great time. If you haven't checked it out, my last episode was the Devil in the Details, where I had Asmodeus Allen from Let's Play with the Devil on. He was great to talk to. We talked all things tabletop role-playing games as normal, and we had a blast doing it. So go check out the Intrepid DM Journeys podcast. You can find it on all media platforms now. We got it on iTunes.
It's on iTunes now, finally. Yes, I'm pretty sure I got that fixed.
Just happy to be a part of the Twist My Arm network with that.
Yeah. Chip, any final words? Any other things you got in the works or anything like that?
No, nothing specific. I'm trying to work on some dios and get some toy photog done, but nothing finished yet.
Sure, that'll be cool though. I can't wait to see those. Where do you? It'll be on Instagram, right? Under
Chip Hop Anonymous. Yep. There's
I
think I'm gonna post a pic tonight or tomorrow. There's a challenge going around called the 5-figure handshake, where you get 5 different figures in one hand. Take a picture of it. But like the trick is to have them like in your hand, so it's like up, like posed, almost like they're leaping out of a cover or something. I saw somebody do one with the Ginyu Force, and he had all the Ginyu Force like full on doing their goofy ass poses in his hand. I was like, that's.
I mean, you have enough figures. I feel like you have enough figures to do that, so you should totally do it.
Yeah, I think I do. I've got a couple.
Just a couple.
1 or 2.
Well, sweet. I don't have a lot myself going on. I am still going through a massive amount of crazy life changes, but it has been fun and real, and I'm excited to at least be a part of MCM and SBI for the next few shows. TMA doesn't have anything planned quite yet. I'm kind of working on things. I'm kind of not, to be honest with you. But that's just a product of a lot of, life happens. So, I will be on Sudden But Inevitable this Friday at 8:30 to watch Slither with Jesse, Ricky, and Cameron from the Green Shirt podcast. And then I don't know if we're doing a show next week because of Thanksgiving. But obviously we will be promoting anything that we do. I do want to thank everyone for their continued support and love through the last couple months. I haven't been very present in things, and I apologize about that. Like I said, I just couldn't be there mentally, so I had to take a break from things, and I'm excited to be getting back into it. And I want to thank everyone for continuing to listen and supporting all these guys here at this network, because these guys, Roy, Chip, Jesse, Ricky from Best Flicks with Ricky D. These guys are all incredible people, and they are amazing friends, and I am extremely lucky to consider them part of my family. And so I am extremely excited that everyone is continuing to support all of these guys. We work really hard on all of these shows. So thank you so much. Visit us at twistmodernpodcast.com for all the updates on all of our shows. And you can follow Marvel Canon Madness at MCM_pod on Twitter and Marvel Canon Madness on Facebook and Instagram. So that is going to be all for tonight. We're going to be coming back at you here soon. I'm assuming Hawkeye will at least start some sort of series. We'll be talking about that. But let's close this thing out. My name is Josh.
I'm Roy.
And I'm Chip. We'll see you later, you marvelous monsters.
Yes, we are the Marvel Canon Madness podcast. We will talk at you very soon.